Collectivité has made €277,000 available to the vocational section of the lycée in Marigot. Phillipsburg Jubilee Library launches its satellite library, and Minister of Health confirms that the ultra-cold freezers to store the COVID-19 vaccine are here. Those are the headlines for Tuesday, January the 19th, 2021. Good evening, viewers. This is SXM Daily News, and I'm Valerie Van Putten. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. And as usual, we have a full newscast for you, so let's get started. In our first story, on Monday last, January the 18th, the Honorable Minister with Responsibility of Health, Labor and Social Affairs, Richard Panafleck, confirmed that the ultra-cold freezers to store the COVID-19 Pfizer vaccine has arrived on the island on Sunday. Minister Panafleck made the disclosure while speaking on the program The Breakfast Lounge with Lady Grace on Monday morning. In the meantime, the preparation to receive the vaccine, according to the VSR minister, is being made.
I personally asked the Netherlands, when and how much vaccines are we going to get? And I want to know the brand, because I know you all, the Netherlands, have problems already with the amount of vaccines that you all self have, while we agree to go kingdom-wide to communicate to our people that you will be providing the vaccines and we will getting the vaccines, that everything should have been here December so that we could have started January. Then everybody listened that you all got the vaccine even earlier. So people are asking, when are we getting vaccines? One of the conditions to receive the vaccines are these freezers. These -80 for the Pfizer and -20 for the Moderna. We'll give you the information about why these things start to. They say the agreement was that these would have reached the island last year, December. Then they say it will arrive the 7th of January. It arrived yesterday. So now, for the people that are not the technical under us, these are not plug-in play instruments. -80 is not something that you will reach just like that. These are very sensitive machines. These are special freezers that you need to have special conditions. Your electricity have to be right. You have to have the special environment to put them in to go. Now you will say, why go through all the trouble? You want the vaccine? That's how it works. So, these arrive today, they have to collect them, then the preparation will continue to make them work. And you can do a lot of preparation, it's only when the units are here, you can start with trying out, seeing and
the units are here now.
Yes.
How many units are we talking about?
We talk about one from -80 and one from -20. Now, for those people that wants to know, that means the -20 mean Pfizer, and the -20 mean Moderna. Because the Astra, you don't need a freezer, you could just put it in the fridge. But those are not validated as yet. We are part of the kingdom, and our validation goes through the kingdom with the EMA, that's European Validation Agency for Medical Products. So that's what it is. So if you ask me, but why you don't come with Sputnik 1 and coronavirus thing from India or from China? Because this is our system. Mm-hmm. And for you to give people any kind of medication, it has to go through a system. And the system have registration, and you have all those kind of things that within your system of law and medicines, it is acceptable. So that's why you cannot just use anything.
And as we continue now in other news, in news about St. Martin's Carnival 2021, responding to the news that the Carnival Development Foundation has released its calendar of events for the 2021 Carnival season, Former president of the St. Martin Carnival Development Foundation, Mr. Michael Ferrier, issued a statement on Monday, January the 18th, in which he stated that he is in agreement with Father Adam of the St. Martin of Tours Catholic Church on St. Martin that the government should cancel this year's carnival festivities. According to Mr. Ferrier, the same should be done for the Heineken Regatta as well. We need to get through this pandemic and make sure that St. Martin is safe before we can go on with events like Carnival and the Heineken Regatta, he told the Voice of St. Martin's news department.
There's no way that anybody can say that they can control the crowds in Carnival as it relates to the measures that we've had to take for the last 8 months or whatever it is with regards to the pandemic.
The St. Martin Carnival Development Foundation issued a press release at the weekend, Mr. Ferrier, in which they are saying they are doing their best to ensure a safe and responsible festival for the revelers who are willing to adhere to the new precautions and rules while still providing access for those who rather experience Carnival from the comfort of their homes.
Give me a break, Stephen. I want to see how the Carnival Development Foundation is going to be able to control the crowds. How are we going to be able to maintain the distances that we're supposed to keep, and how are we going to be able to prevent people from being right up into each other's mouths while they're having fun and dancing and prancing and drinking alcohol and stuff. If you pass right now, you look on the roads over the weekends, you see different places, bars, restaurants, areas where people gather, having drinks and stuff together. You don't see any kind of control. I just don't see it. I think it's a bad move.
As a former president of the SCDF, Mr. Ferrier, what will be your advice to the foundation at this time?
Well, it's like I said. I mean, I personally know that we as an island have done a lot to try to mitigate the issue, the problems that COVID-19 has brought to the world. And we are nowhere close yet to getting the vaccination that I know of. I haven't heard of any firm plans for the vaccinations coming to at least the Dutch side, the south side of St. Martin. And a pandemic is still raging in the United States, where more than 70% of our tourists come from. Things are still getting worse before they get better. Hopefully now with the new president coming in, we'll see some changes in how they try to mitigate and try to reduce the risks. But I don't see St. Martin as a destination being able to control an event like Carnival, where crowds are going to be all over the place, enough to say that we're going to be having a safe Carnival. It's just not in the cards for St. Martin as far as I'm concerned.
And in other news, the Phillipsburg Jubilee Library has announced the opening of its Cahill Satellite Library. The Satellite Library, which will be situated in the vicinity of the Asha Stevens Christian Hillside School parking lot, will be open to the public from 2:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. daily, Monday to Friday. Phillipsburg Jubilee Library Chairman Paul Martins told guests at yesterday's reception that today is a very special day, and he also gave an elucidation of why the project started.
Today is a very special day, both for the Phillipsburg Jubilee Library Foundation as the Christian Hillside Foundation. Did I say that correctly? The neighborhood of Cahill, Bel Air, etc. R4CR. Because we might be one of the first projects that is actually being launched. Our sponsors, the beautiful lady from UTS, who I don't know, but that's okay. Anyway, my role today is to give a brief elucidation on why this satellite library project started. As you all know, in 2017 we had a big storm named Irma and destroyed the main facility of the library in Phillipsburg. Currently, since March 2019, I think, The library occupies a temporary facility in the Adolphus Richardson building in Phillipsburg. That unit is great to serve the public, but it's very small. It's only like 10% of the previous facility. So we needed to see how we could bring the library to the people instead of the people to the library, because there's no space. Then came the COVID crisis, which made it even more complicated, because you can only have so many people in the building. And for the current library facility, it's really a few people that can attend. So staff, management and board have been brainstorming on how we can do that. We used to have the library bus, which used to go around in schools and neighborhoods. But due to technical issues, the bus is no longer able to do that. But we still had it. So years ago, the Hillside Christian School here allowed the bus to be parked here and to be used for the school. But now we thought maybe we can expand on that idea, maybe also in different districts. So last year we spoke about getting this really off the ground. But then the problem was how to finance it, because the government has been freezing our subsidy for the last, 10 years or something? And it's not increasing, especially now with the economic and financial crisis hitting the country. But then came our 4CR, where you could submit quick wins, $50,000 maximum project. You can also submit multiple projects, understood? So it ain't done yet. And the satellite library project was one of those that was submitted. Like Glendon said, we got approval within 6 weeks, 2 months or something, which was really amazing, because we all have had to deal with project financing, which normally takes forever. So this was really a good thing. I think approval came in November, we're now in January, and we're now having the official opening, so which is really great.
And still to come, coordinator of the Students Guidance Services gives a PowerPoint presentation. We'll have the details to that story and more when SXM Daily News returns. Welcome back, viewers. You're watching SXM Daily News, and I'm Valerie Van Putten. As we continue now with our broadcast for this evening, speaking at the virtual meet and greet, which was held on Sunday last, January the 17th, with the Department of Education, coordinator of the Students Guidance Services for students who will be continuing with their tertiary education in the Netherlands, Dr. Clara James Brown, gave a PowerPoint presentation about the vision and mission statement. In order to ensure a smooth transition for students as they embark on their journey, she said that they have decided to include 3 core values, and she elucidated further.
Our vision and mission statement of the organization is as follows. The guidance program offered by a group of multi-talented professionals empowers students by providing them with social, emotional support to ensure a smooth landing and transition from the Caribbean to the Netherlands. By doing so, a sustainable support system is established for each individual student while seeding the transition towards becoming self-sufficient professionals. Our vision is built on 3 values: to inform the student, to inspire the student, and to include them. In order to ensure a smooth transition for a student as they embark on their new journey, we have decided to employ 3 core values: inform, inspire, and include. By making sure that the students are well informed, we hope to inspire them to start their new chapter on a positive note, knowing that we can include them in our community and support them each step of the way. Our value proposition will force us to keep sight on the student guidance services vision. As we look at the first core value, inform, one of the main priorities during the 2-year guidance program is to ensure that our students are well informed. This is done through preparatory workshops prior to arrival and during the orientation program here in the Netherlands. Topics that are discussed are on dual, insurance, registration at the civil registry, banking, budgeting, mental health awareness, living in the Netherlands, tips and tricks on how to achieve academic success, which was held in the month of October 2020, just to name a few. As we turn our focus to the second core value, inspire, we have managed to establish our own buddy program. A buddy is one who will assist the guidance counselor during the orientation program by making sure that all the priority activities are executed in a successful manner. Priority activities such as grocery shopping, registration at the municipalities, room furnishing, just to name a few. During the orientation program of maximum 4 weeks, each buddy will be assigned 1 to maximum of 3 students, depending on the amount of students in the assigned city. Additionally, we focus on individual development to organize social gatherings and educational workshops.
And in other news at this time, as has been reported, the USP Party has launched the Plan of Action for 2021. Speaking exclusively to SXM Daily Newsroom regarding the USP's Plan of Action, Member of Parliament Claudius Tonje-Camper outlined a number of plans which included food security, cannabis farming, agriculture through technology, seafood farming, the Code of Conduct for Parliamentarians, the Garbage Collection Ordinance, the breathalyzer, as well as the electoral law. In this edition of SXM Daily News this evening, the Member of Parliament elaborated about the screening of persons for public office.
The next issue that I have in this whole electoral aspect is the screening process. Here we have that ministers are being screened by entities that are going to decide who your government is. And I'm saying, but wait a minute. Maybe we have to review and have ministers elected. Maybe we should have ministers elected. Because once they're elected, there's no screening aspect. Because, we say, oh, but he's a criminal, and oh, he is this. A criminal in whose eyes? Because somebody said you did this, or somebody said you did that, because I have seen that happen in this term. That people are not accused of something but can't pass screening. Because they're being investigated. This is utter nonsense. It has to be clear, the screening. When can you not pass? That has to be known, and any report you make should be published. You said somebody can't pass, publish the report. This is crazy, because people will not just want to become a minister because they don't know what they're up against. You don't know what you're up against. And somebody goes and gives trumps up charges, and here you are now, your integrity is tarnished. The screening laws have to be clear. And again, I'm not saying people should not be held accountable. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I need to know what you're screening people on. I need to know why you're screening people on certain things. Because the Minister of Justice is screened different than the Minister of Finance. Or the Prime Minister is screened different. And I understand that, but I'm saying make it clear so the public understands it. So that you don't always have these stories, oh, that one couldn't pass screening, and then speculation starts why he couldn't pass screening. That should not happen.
And as we continue now with news out of French St. Martin, The collectivité of Saint Martin has made €277,000 available to the vocational section of the lycée in Marigot. The money has been earmarked for the replacement of faulty machines at the institution. This came against the backdrop of a student getting hurt due to the malfunctioning of a machine in the carpentry section of the school. Following this incident, teachers, accompanied by several students, decided to march to the collectivité, where they voiced their dissatisfaction with the lack of attention given to the institution and, in particular, the carpentry division. Speaking to the Voice of St. Martin's News Department, Councilman of the opposition MJP party in the Territorial Council, Louis Mussington, said that several of their equipment got damaged during the passage of the hurricanes in 2017, and until the incident on Thursday last week, nothing had been done to replace them, despite countless complaints from teachers and students alike.
They took a bold stand to say that enough is enough. Because since Irma, it appears, and this is what they had said to me when I met with a few of them, is that since after the passing of Irma, devastating the whole island, including, of course, the lycée professionnel in Concordia, many of the machines were faulty in the sense that they have a lot of water infiltrated the building, and therefore they were not functioning. And they made their complaints to the collectivité, and various promises were made to have them repaired and up and running again. They even discussed the possibility of purchasing new machines for the carpentry section of the lycée. The sad reality is that for the last 3 years, nothing significant has been done in order to improve the functioning of the section and to prepare the children for their exam, which will be taking place in the next 3 months, if I'm not mistaken. It arrived at a point where one student got hurt plugging in one of the machines that was not functioning properly, and as a result of the accident, the teacher said enough is enough, and they had a whole student who was also in support of them, because we are talking about the carpentry section, and over 100 students are concerned about that. But you had a protest that included all the other section of the lycée, because we joined in solidarity with the carpentry section. What my point here is that we cannot wait until there's an accident, or we cannot wait until the cry becomes unbearable to respond to situations that is supposed to be part of our competence in terms of having the responsibility to deal with the lycée and all the schools on the northern side falls directly under the responsibility of the local government. So therefore they cannot turn away from the responsibility, and today argue that yes, we have so many situations to deal with, the pandemic, and then firstly we had the hurricane, yes, but what would we do? Keep crying till the end of time, or we would hold the bull by its horn and deal with the situation as they occur? Yes, they made an interesting gesture by unblocking €270,000 to purchase additional machines and to repair what can be repaired. I welcome that bold stand, but I'm saying here, I didn't have to read that far. You have to be concerned about the future of the children. You have to make sure that they are properly covered, that their situations are dealt with on a regular basis, and that they don't have to reach a point where they have to walk out, of the school to get your attention. Leadership is to provide, to foresee, and to plan, and this is where the team in place has failed miserably in their mission to educate the children of the nation. Like I said, interesting development, because not only they approved the €277,000, but they also announced the creation of a higher section of the carpentry. So they will now do 2 more years after their the senior high school exam.
Now, turning to our weather forecast for January the 19th, 2021. Pockets of moisture at the lower levels of the atmosphere will increase the likelihood of showers as they move across the region. The Atlantic high pressure ridge will maintain gentle to moderate winds. Seas are expected to peak at 8 feet through Wednesday evening. Therefore, small craft operators and sea bathers are advised to exercise caution. So the outlook through Thursday midday, fair to partly cloudy with brief showers possible. Now, let's turn to your 3-day forecast. And still to come, members of Judah Jubilee Company talks of the importance of public speaking. We'll have the details to that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
The innovative Banco Matico Contactless Smart Card. Your Banco Matico Smart Card is now equipped with a contactless feature for payments, so get ready to tap and go. Contactless payments are fast, easy, secure, and accepted worldwide at all Maestro-enabled contactless terminals. Tap for transactions equivalent to or less than 100 NAF, or the US dollar equivalent. You will receive notifications via email anytime you tap. Tap, tap, and pay fast with WIB. For more information, visit our website at wib-bank.net. Tap and go with your partner in progress.
And as we end this edition of SXM Daily News for this evening, as we continue now with our series with the Judah Jubilee Company, which is opening registration for drama classes scheduled to start in February, speaking to SXM Daily Newsroom, Director of Judah Jubilee Company, Jamila Javois, says that one can pick up registration forms at the Van Dorp Edeen bookstores at both locations. The director, along with the president of Judah Jubilee Company, Rolando Baez, spoke to us about poetry, public speaking, and storytelling, and how it can tie into theater.
Well, the poetry, public speaking, and storytelling would be a beginners to intermediate class. The preteen beginners class is a beginners class. The 16 plus young adults and adults musical theater class is sort of beginners intermediate. Okay. So, it's basically we'll blend two groups because people learn from each other. We're not doing advanced yet because we want to get the group to a certain level, and then next season we move on to, intermediate, advanced, and more real performance. So it's been well thought out,
right.
And you want to get everybody sort of on the same line, and so that's our strategy.
For those, why public speaking? Why is that so important?
Well, it's all about expressing. A drama and everything is all about expressing yourself, and public speaking is one of the foundations that you use in order to express yourself. As a matter of fact, if you look at the poetry, the storytelling, and everything, the basis of it all becomes public speaking. You have to stand in front of a group and be able to deliver effectively. And because of that, it was very important for us to include public speaking as a very important part of the overall classes that we have here. We're speaking about beginners and preteens and so on, but the adults as well can benefit tremendously from the classes that we're going to do. So public speaking, I think, as a central part of it, is going to be the foundation with which all the other aspects, the poetry, the storytelling, and even the drama classes are going to be built on.
Presentation is a big part of it.
And with that, viewers, it brings us to the end of this edition of SXM Daily News for this evening. I am Valerie Van Putten, thanking you so much for joining me this evening. And just a reminder that this and other programs are available online. Simply log on to stmartinmediacenter.com for viewing. And on behalf of the SXM Daily News team, we thank you so much for watching and plan on meeting you right back here again tomorrow.